his daddy was a road warrior to the end. I think about him all the time. I sure missed not picking up the phone call and those things.
Well, I thank you for your time, Hillbilly Jim, ladies and gentlemen.
My pleasure. Thank you. That was good.
It was.
Color and light, big loud sounds, stars burning bright with a love lost and found. I'm here, still here, headed home. Crowds wanting more, still burns in my ears. Buying a blink, so many years. I'm here, no tears, headed home. So I will spend these last moments with you. Show me your heart and carry me through. Hard to let go of all we began. Want to go back and live it again. I'm here, no tears, headed home.
Welcome back, everybody. Great interview there by Hillbilly Jim and Mean Gene Okerlund. And, of course, Mean Gene had to drop that little tidbit that Miss Elizabeth never wore any underwear. Oh, man.
I don't think any of us are really complaining about that little tidbit, but still.
Well, a lot of people say, well, what happened then in SummerSlam 88 when she ripped off her skirt to distract Ted DiBiase, Virgil, and Andre the Giant, and she was wearing yellow underwear. So, yeah. Some might say, Mean Gene, you're a liar.
They might have planned that a little well. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they want her in that era. I don't think they wanted that.
Well, you trying to tell me that WWE planned for that malfunction of wardrobe?
All right. That's I can agree with you on that one.
We have more nip slips in the last 5 years than probably the entire decade of the 80s.
Yeah, I'm glad you said decade of the 80s because the 90s was a little different.
Yeah, that was a little different. I don't think those were nip slips, to be honest with you. I think those were like nip tips. I mean, they were just they were just coming out left and right. I don't think I don't think those were an accident at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and no young man in his early teens who watched that era of wrestling was complaining whatsoever.
That's for damn sure. All right, so what's another great moment in your mind with Macho Man Randy Savage?
Another great moment. One that actually, I don't know if it was necessarily a great moment, but something that sticks into my mind from my childhood was when he first originally turned heel and went to the NWO when he was in WCW. I just remember, I was younger, so I was in bed already and everything. I remember walking downstairs to go to the bathroom, and I remember my dad telling me, like I'm half asleep, I remember my dad saying, Macho Man Randy Savage, he went to the NWO, this and that. And it was just one of those memorable things as a childhood. I don't know why that sticks out in my mind so much, but I just remember as a kid walking downstairs, and I was a huge NWO fan in WCW, and so I just remember like my dad just telling me as I'm walking downstairs that he turned to the NWO, and it was just a fun memory in my mind that helps me it just makes me excited to thinking back towards my childhood in general.
One of my more memorable moments, it's a negative moment only because Macho Man lost a match, but it was WrestleMania 7?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the retirement match against the Warrior?
Was it 7?
Well, 5 he lost to Hogan. 6 he fought. Didn't he fight Dusty Rhodes and him and Sherry versus Rhodes and what was that black chick's name that he tagged up with?
I can't remember. I know I can see her face, but I can't think of her name right now.
That was 6, and I think 7 was his retirement match against the Warrior.
Okay.
Because 8 he beat Flair for the title.
Yes.
So that I remember just because I felt like he lifted the Ultimate Warrior to a whole new level of wrestling. Like, I always said that the Hogan Warrior match was a really good match, considering the two guys involved, that it was an actual very good wrestling match.
Yeah.
When you have somebody of Randy Savage's of caliber, you know, and you can compare this, you can compare Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior to CM Punk versus The Undertaker.
Okay.
Savage carried Warrior, Punk carried Taker, but to the average wrestling fan's eye, you don't know that, and you felt like the both of them put on a spectacular match.
Yep.
You know, to someone like myself and you and a lot of other wrestling fans that, you know who the better wrestlers are and who's carrying who, we were able to see somebody like Randy Savage carry the Warrior and just make him that much better of a wrestler. And I just, I just felt like the Ultimate Warrior never, after that match, he really, I hate to say, he just sucked after that.
Yeah.
Like, he never did anything with it. I mean, at least Hogan's career went on. He had a lot of bad matches, versus Nash and Sting, but at least Hogan went on to put on one more great match, and that was WrestleMania 18 versus The Rock.
Yes.
And that's 11 years later.
But it shows a lot about, if you want to jump into Hogan real quick, it just shows a lot about how Hogan can really change his style of wrestling as well.
Yeah.
To today's day and age, or back in WrestleMania 18, that day and age.
And it does, and that's why when you get a match with two superior technical wrestlers in the same match, how special that is. And I'll refer back to WrestleMania 3 with Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
You could not get a better mix of talented wrestlers in a ring at once at that time, or maybe at any time, because it's still considered, in some people's eyes, the greatest match ever in the squared circle. So
those two, we go back to this match, not even just in his tribute shows, but every single week when we talk about the tournaments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just one of the best matches ever. Just everything about that match was perfect.
Absolutely. And you know how before we were referring to Greg Valentine and how only once in his career he was in the ring with Randy Savage? That was WrestleMania 4.
Yeah.
How about his brother Lanny Poffo? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had a long storied career in the WWE. Lanny Poffo originally came up as Leaping Lanny Poffo with his poems on his frisbees, and he used to read the poem and then fling the frisbees into the crowd as a face. Then later on became a heel, as I would say that one of the top 5 heels of wrestling history when he became the Genius. He didn't need to win a title. He just did what he did, and people loved to hate him with his poems and his mortarboard and gown and his scrolls and his cocky arrogance, and he didn't even have to wrestle.
Yep.
But him Do you know? All right, hey, let's ask this. You might know the answer to this. Do you know how many times him and Randy fought each other in the WWE ring?
Who, Lanny and Randy?
Yes.
To be honest, I want to go with 0.
You would be right.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking back in my head. I was like, I really don't think they ever wrestled against each other.
They never wrestled with each other as a tag team either.
Yes, but never against each other.
Nope. The only time Randy Savage and Lanny Poffo were in the ring at the same time was when the Genius read his king coronation to the Macho King Randy Savage.
Yep.
That's crazy too. I mean, to think about, again, 2 storied careers and family. And not one storyline of one against the other. No storylines of them together. I mean, they could have been, the Macho Men. They could have been the Macho Geniuses. I mean, they could have been any corny name that WWE would want to give them. And they could have been easily, they could have been tag team champions.
Oh, absolutely! In a day and age when tag teams were dozens and dozens.
Yes, when they were actually cool.
Yeah, when there actually was a tag team division.
Speaking about tag team divisions, I want to play this interview that we did with a former tag team champion. Then he was known as Typhoon. He was teamed up with the Earthquake, the Natural Disasters tag team champions. Here's the interview. This was from Warriors of Wrestling that night. I apologize if the audio is a little up and down. It's a very loud environment there, and I did the best to bring back the noise level. But here is Fred Ottman, also known as Tugboat / Typhoon, and one of the worst wrestling fails in the history of wrestling, the Shockmaster.
We're live here in Staten Island, New York for Warriors of Wrestling with WWE legend and former tag team champion Tugboat. Tugboat, welcome to Staten Island.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Good to be here.
All right. We have a Macho Man Randy Savage tribute show going on the 16th, which is the day after his birthday. And we were asking a couple guys, like, the most memorable moment of Randy Savage.
One of the most memorable moments with Randy Savage is when I was breaking bread with him at dinner with him and my brother-in-law, Dusty Rhodes. I was new into the territory, into the WWF, and he sat down with me. We talked a long ways in California, and I was asking questions about the business. He says, the only thing I can tell you about this business is the only guarantees is there are no guarantees. So always take care of yourself.
If you could describe him in one word, what would it be?
A general. A general in the ring. And a gentleman in life.
I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, former tag team champion Tugboat. I didn't get
Macho Man tonight. The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better. And I'm the World Wrestling Federation champion, and you're not!
Oh my goodness!
Gotta have beef, gotta have spice, need a little excitement. Snap it to a Slim Jim. Oh yeah! And when you look into my eyes, the eyes of the Macho King, you see victory! The Macho King Randy Savage is the one person that nobody should bet against because you all go broke, yeah. Oh, yeah, dig it, yeah. I am the type of person that doesn't talk negative. I stay positive. Lex Luger, we got a date with Destiny right now, yeah? And that's the Survivor Series